Mr. Garza. I tried to contact Sergeant Kruger so we can try to get some resolution to this that will assist you. So if she doesn't come in till 11. So if you give me a few more minutes, I'm gonna try to contact her, and it's
I tell you what I will do, sir. In all my, humanity, I will let you contact her, and you can follow up as to why she didn't contact me back for over through all this period in the past, where I was told by Officer Padmore that she was my single point of contact. I think I was also told by Officer Opans and everybody else, and I was never contacted, never followed up, and there's videos on YouTube. I'd like for you to look at those videos and ask her why, as the special victims person, I wasn't contacted nor treated properly, and why I should have any faith or any concern or even any reason to even want to go back to the priest that molested me, i.e., the Kruger farce that I was never afforded, as the psychiatric liaison, supposedly, which is what I was told at that time, to be the only single point of contact, for her never to follow up, and everything else. And now for you to say that you're going to contact her and that somehow it's going to work out right, sir, not only do I disbelieve you, I want to speak to you about all the things that happened wrong with her before I even speak to her, and we can address those issues so that you can assure me that this time I will be treated with respect, compassion, and humanity, because none of those things are evident from the past if you watch the videos and the paperwork that I sent to her in the past.
I've seen those videos, Mr. Garza.
You've seen where they didn't contact me back. You saw where I followed up and went to room 550 and was told by the person there, section 632 about videotaping, which was incorrect. You've seen where he also told me that if I was disruptive, he could ask for me to leave, but in nowhere, no shape, no form did I receive any special victims services. You have seen that video.
I've seen where you've gone in and tried to speak to Officer Padmore, or when you have spoken to Officer Padmore, Officer Oropeza. I have seen those videos. Yes,
and was I helped? Did I get Kelly Kruger as a single point of contact to help me? Because if I did, it would really be begging the question as to why I'm still here following up. I think we all know the answer is no. Now, what accountability is going to be for that failure before you throw me back into a rigged procedure?
You can report any improprieties that an SFPD officer does to the Office of Citizens Complaints.
You mean the Office of Citizens Complaint that's rigged to fail, which is what this is all about in the first place. Once again, sir, how is that respecting my humanity, and how is that honest?
The video appears to me to be the issue.
No. Right? The issue is I'm being denied access and accommodation based on their incorrect interpretation of the law and the incorrect policies that they have. No, sir. You're wrong.
Okay.
I'm being denied services. That is what is happening, period. So, now, how are we going to ensure that we get those services?
Kelly Kruger, and let me try to get you an answer.
As to why all the mistreatment in the past, what the remedy is for that harm and those damages, and how I've been harmed. Wanting to believe in something and me not doing anything wrong, and yet here we are again a year later, and you're trying to send me back to basically the priest that molested me, when, it's obvious what's happened with this failed procedure and Kelly Kruger as the psychiatric liaison for the prior incidences that I was maltreated about. So, it's not all right, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Hearing what you're saying is what I'm telling you.
I love that you're hearing. Now, when you watch the videos, we can speak as man to man about what the real truth is, how it's continually, a game and it's rigged, and we can fix it so that we can make it accountable and better for everyone. Not only am I demanding an apology from Ms. Kruger, I want contrition. Because, this could have been resolved so long ago had any of this farce, and these fake procedures, LGBT liaison, respect, compassion, had any of this been true. But since it's never been true, and that's what I'm proving, you have to continue to understand that that's why I'm continuing. And like I said, we definitely need to work on the propaganda signage that's at police stations to have them pull all that LGBT, shall I say, bullshit propaganda down, because I'm still following up. Neither of the captains from either Northern Station nor Mission Station have contacted me, even though I've escalated, and that's on the video also. So once again, rigged is as rigged does. Not my problem. My problem was in believing. I don't believe. Prove to me that, you know, things will be done correctly, and then I might have a little hope. At this point, with the videos that I have and the continuation of trying to throw me once again into a rigged procedure, which we all know is rigged, OCC, Kelly, Kruger, on and on and on, is so distasteful from a human point of view and, you know, from any type of legal or moral point of view. But anyway, Mr. Yamaguchi, this is not directed at you. Please understand, it's not. I understand you're a clog in the wheel. I understand you're just doing your job. I understand you're following orders just like, you know, the person at OCC who's following orders from the city attorney. It doesn't make it right when it's denying me what I'm legally entitled to just because the procedure is bad or it's rigged. And as a human being, one to another, I know that you hear me. Let's make it right for everyone, because how are we ever going to have a chance and hope if it's rigged and the devil's in the details like I'm showing you and exposing? You know, there's so many issues. I've got almost 2 years of videos, and I've got 10 years of paperwork before that. And when people ask me, you know, well, why don't you turn off your video recorder? It's because I tried all that for 10 years, only to be played by a system. And that's why I record now, because I'm proving that not only is the system rigged.
Mr. Garza, I just
yes, please.
thought of something.
Yes, please.
I'm trying to be creative to try to make this work. Do you have to videotape the person that's interviewing you?
Oh, as long as I have the camera, I don't have to have it on him, but I want to have it running. I don't have to. He can hide behind a screen.
Well, yeah.
It's not about getting in somebody's face.
Yeah.
It's about me having my videotape because, you know, after getting a signed confession from the city in 2007 and it's 2014 and nobody's explained to me how my case was thrown out of federal court and I have an adjustment disorder, haven't done everything right. This is the only way I feel safe, you know, under programmatic access, because I have been violated, there's been no explanation, I'm dead right, and now I must videotape because there's too many times when people don't perform, when they say one thing, do something else, it cannot be refuted on video.
So, Mr. Garza, if I may.
Yes, please.
May I see the camera for one moment? So, if we were to go to OCC, and if the camera was to face something neutral,
yes,
you would be willing to, this would be considered taping to you?
Yes, as long as it's in the public place, you know,
well, no,
not behind closed doors, you know, so that they can confiscate my videotape.
No, Mr. Garza,
now, wait a minute.
I'm trying to figure
yes,
this
please.
out. So what I'm saying is, if the video camera is facing a neutral location,
right, or not someone,
or not at someone,
right,
or even yourself,
right,
if you faced yourself, and you video recorded this, that would be acceptable to you.
After, you know, there's the initial introduction so that everybody knows who we're dealing with. Yes, you know, because, you know, I don't want there to be some random voice that a person can't associate a face to, you know, or say this is your position.
The person would identify themselves as an OCC representative.
Well, that's fine. As long as I can get them on video doing that, then we can turn away. In the public place. I'm not going behind closed doors.
Well, it's got, the office we were in is not a public place, right? A room similar to that would be acceptable? A conference room.
I would actually have to think about that because I don't know if once I agree to the conference room, if they can, you know, attach my videotape. You know, I would prefer for it to be in the public place. Oh, another thing I want to tell you is when I went to OCC this last time, you know, I took my video camera and you were incorrect. The public place is, like I said, in that little foyer section. Remember we talked that you get off the elevator, then there's this blank space, and then there's a room that you go into?
Yeah.
You go into that room, there's a space to sit down, and it has all the police commissioners, and then behind closed doors and a partition is their private offices, but I'm in the public place.
Okay.
And so we could do it, right? That's where I want to do it. Where Mr. McMahon came out last time, which is on video if you look at it, and told me about Section 3304, which of course is not correct.
Okay.
But then again, you know, when I go and I ask him why he gave me this incorrect information, his excuse will be that that's what he got from the city attorney. And I'll be like, well, you know, it's incorrect. Now what are we going to do about it? And I guess I'm not going to be offered a suggestion or a fix. You know, you have to understand it's rigged.
So when you say public place, that foyer would be an area that you would be willing to do the interview.
Yeah, that's where I've been all along, and I've said, come out here and let's do it.
What if it's another office similar to the one?
No, I want to be in the foyer because honestly, the way I've been abused with falsely 5150'd and behind closed doors, you're pretty much the only person I trust to go into a separate conference room or something because, I've been so abused by not only the person who illegally 5150'd me, but by the entire system. Hanley going down and telling me that, 25 Van Ness I couldn't videotape and, all these other misinformation, My trust at this point is only with you, sir.
All right, Mr. Garza.
And please, understand that even me trusting you, after all the harm that I've been through, is quite a leap.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm being honest. I've never been dishonest. That's why it's on video for people to see, and this isn't about me. This is about making it right for everyone or everything that's said to be accountable, and unfortunately it's not. It's all rigged, and if you don't like it, well, that's, the information the city attorney gave us, we're just doing our job. The banality of evil. We're all wise, intelligent men. I should have my health care. Oh, speaking about the health care, what about that crisis intervention team?
The crisis intervention team is a training that the officers receive. If there's a critical incident out on the street, and that if there's an officer available to respond to that has the training, that officer is.
So can we get an officer like that for me? Because this has been critical for me getting my health care and all these things. So if we get somebody like that, then can they then help me go down to the Department of Public Health, ensure that I get my health care and everything else? I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay, let me
find out. And
I'll get
all right, and you understand why I'm saying that, because had that been the solution in the first place, like I offered the sheriff to walk me across the street, which of course, like you told me priorly, you couldn't believe that the sheriff's office wouldn't do the correct thing. Well, I think you're starting to grow up and see what exactly is, believable and unbelievable in this modern, backwards society where, talk is cheap but actions. I'm still waiting for the correct action.
All right, Mr. Garza.
Thank you.
Thank
you for all of your civility.
Thank you.
No, when we do right, that's all that matters. There's an old saying, that when you feed the wrong feeds on you. Meaning that if we all look the other way in this banality of evil, we all know that there's games, that it's not working, but we feed it because, we don't do what's right. Then that wrong, that banality of evil, these big procedures are going to turn around and feed on everybody. And when it affects you and yours, I wouldn't want that just as much as I know you wouldn't want it for me. But that's where we're at. Let's stop feeding the wrong. I'm telling the truth. Let's make it right so it's right, and not feed the wrong so that the wrong won't feed on us and harm not only people like me, but like I said, should you have a sick relative, should you have anybody else go through what I've been going through, because no one enforces medical law, which is beyond any reasonable comprehension that I have. Given the fact that I've been constantly denied health care by the Department of Public Health and access and accommodation, it's inhumane. But, when you're a mega god, when you've got somebody who's a city attorney who can say something for you, and you can say, well, I'm only following orders. When you feed the wrong feeds on you.
All right, Mr. Garza.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your kindness.